You are listening to the Two Gingers podcast, streaming on Apple Podcasts and Podbean now. Here are your hosts, Sir William and the Duchess.
And we're back. Duchess, what's going on?
Happy New Year!
Wow.
Yeah, right?
The calendar flipped on us.
Completely, and it is flying.
No kidding.
It's flying.
We haven't graced the airwaves in like 3 weeks.
I know. Well, but we've been giving
we're doing the quickie. Yeah.
Every day because, everybody has time for a quickie.
And I haven't really had an opportunity yet to thank you and Curtis. I had the big computer disaster of late 2018 that actually kept me down for 3 weeks.
Yes.
Man, we always rip on the millennials and their cell phones, and all they do is, they're attached to those things.
Right.
Not having my computer, that's like my lifeline. That is my cell phone. I use my computer way more. I text on my computer.
Yeah.
I'm on it like all the time.
That's crazy.
Even watching TV and stuff like that.
Right. I didn't realize that you were utilizing your laptop as much as you were until you didn't have it.
And I couldn't do anything.
That was hilarious because then I'm like, why aren't you posting anything on social media? And you're like, oh, I don't have my laptop. I'm like, your phone's in your hand.
The funny thing...
I had no idea that you didn't use it. You didn't use your phone.
No, the funny thing is I was trying to create an image on my phone. Oh, my gosh.
Okay, well, I could understand that.
That was insane. It
I
was
could
so
understand
hard.
that. Doing design things is not going to happen on your phone.
Pretty impossible. But anyway, you and Cubby Kurt stepped up in a major way. Huge props to you guys because, my thinking was... I hate to do this, but it's so out of my control.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have a backup that I could
Right.
use or anything.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I guess we'll just have to be off until my computer's fixed, which, by the way, when it first went down, I thought it was going to be like 2 days.
Right.
And we were down like 1 day, I think. And then you guys are like, let's just do it.
Right.
And it was awesome.
I really have to give all the credit over to Curtis, because there's no way that I could have done that without him, but he has the savvy to know that he could go into old shows and cut and paste to, utilize some of our clips. Not all of them, but I wasn't really expecting that, but enough that we could at least produce our morning quickie show.
And it sounded great.
And people were so excited that they weren't missing it.
Right.
It was definitely different without you in there, but it was nice. And man, Cubby Kurt stepped up.
Yeah,
he
totally.
was like really sprinkling the joy with the news.
Yeah.
And
you pushed him though to do it.
I did.
And not in a bad way, but
I have a habit of doing that.
I think the important thing is, as we're really trying to grow that, is that the consistency of doing it.
Absolutely.
I think the most minimal number of days we can take off is the way to go, because
completely
people who are listening, and you can tell there's some that are listening every day.
Right.
They get used to it and like it, and
be careful.
all that.
I have new things in the studio.
I know.
Since you've been here, and I don't want you to accidentally knock over the unicorn mugs or
there's a
the other
mug.
craziness.
This is
that's happening in here.
If you watch some of those sports shows where they're in there and they got the bobbleheads all over the desk.
I know.
It's like unicorn.
I know the unicorn land is really taking over. Lil Mama and Mr. Big bought me a calendar this year, and it's called Advice from a Unicorn.
Oh, nice.
So if you're following us on Instagram or even on our Facebook page, I've been posting them each way. Now, this is my question, though, because all last year I was posting the anti-affirmations, right?
Right.
Well, then this year I got not only the anti-affirmation calendar, but I was also gifted this Advice from a Unicorn calendar. So I have been posting both of them, and with the hashtag of yin and yang, because they're
Totally
complete
different.
polar opposites.
Right.
We're not getting as much love as we were getting with just the snarky anti-affirmations.
Interesting.
So I think we need to do a poll. if people still want to see the yin and yang,
Yeah.
or if I should just get rid of the fluffy unicorn advice.
That we'll set up a poll.
Let's set up a poll and
what the people like.
But if you're like, what the heck are you talking about? It's because you need to be following us on social media. And if you didn't see our cute little video we put together, it's real easy to find us. It's the number 2 Gingerz with a Z.
That's right.
Maybe we need to post that again too. That was super fun. So yeah, we haven't even talked. That was crazy about your laptop. I'm so glad that it's back. I'm not glad that we are in the thick of winter here in the Chicagoland area.
Wow, it went from
This is insanity.
It went from mild to yuck. Hashtag yuck.
I seriously thought that when we were having those 40-degree, 50-degree weather days, I thought that was it.
Right.
I thought we were just going to sail right into spring, and it was going to be 40, 50 for the next couple months,
Right.
and I was going to be okay with that.
Yeah.
And then what happens? We get the
boy.
big gray umbrella. And this is the thing that really makes me crazy, because I know everybody's tired of bitching about the weather, but all we're doing is bitching about the weather, blah, 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 blah. I'm fine if it's cold. Fine. I'll even be fine if it's snowing. Could we see the sun?
Right.
The gray days for an extended period of time
It's awful.
just make me absolutely
awful.
miserable.
The other element to this that is also awful is the ice. I mean, because that's really like snow, like you said, you can deal with it.
Right. Yeah, the ice is really scary.
It's bad for, people walking and
I know.
falling. There was a day last week or 2 weeks ago where we had about 4 or 5 people in my neighborhood go down, including my
man.
father-in-law.
Oh.
I had to pick him up off the
man.
ground because he couldn't get up. I mean, it's bad news.
Well-
and that was with salt on the ground.
Right.
So.
All the more reason to utilize all of the pickup services right now, right? With at the grocery store and the
Right.
restaurants. And have you, I know that we're both fans of Uber, but have you ever used the Uber Eats or the
I
Dash
have
deals
not, but
yet?
I'm
I'm
thinking
telling you
about
what,
it.
I am thinking about it because I do not want to have another pizza delivered to this house
Right.
for the rest of the year.
And that's unfortunate, as the only thing they deliver is pizza.
That or Chinese food, right?
Right.
So now I'm really starting to look because, and I know we're going to get into this in just a minute, but I was at one of our favorite local hangouts, local businesses, Manny's Gelato, and he does phenomenal
Oh, my
food
gosh.
as well. But I was noticing the last time that I was checking out that he utilizes Uber Eats. And I'm like, well, shoot, next time we have a bad day, I'm just going to Uber Eat my Manny's and have it delivered to me.
Right. When I was Uber driving, I actually signed up to do Uber Eats.
Yeah.
But I'm not doing that anymore. So.
Well, interestingly enough, on our famous Facebook page, Huntley Opinions, I was following
What's happening?
right.
Only opinions.
I was following a thread that someone was asking, like, what other stay-at-home moms do for work? Like, is there any work that the stay-at-home mom could do from her home? And someone said, I started driving only for Uber Eats. Like, she doesn't want to drive with anybody. And Uber Eats is the only thing that allows you, as a driver, to have your children in the car.
Okay.
Because you can't do that if you're a driver,
Right,
right?
right.
But they don't care if you're picking up their cheeseburger and bringing
Right.
it to them. They don't care who else is in the car.
Yep.
So she does it while she's like at home, has that downtime of a few hours before it's time to start cooking dinner herself. And she's like, I make a couple $100 extra here and there. I mean, that's pretty smart, but it's leading us into what we're going to be talking about today, which is small businesses.
Yes, it is. And I think the initial idea came up when you got an email, and I was so devastated. It was Yoga 4.
Yeah, why for?
Y4 locally here in Huntley, which is a outfit that did yoga.
Yes.
And we had actually kind of become acquaintances with the owner. And
Yeah, we had her on our show when
Yeah.
we were Two Dudes and the Duchess.
yeah, she was advertising in Huntley Happenings
Yes.
for a while. And
Oh, I was so sad. She's right next door, or was next to our dear friends at Ira's Bagels. And yes, she's closing the doors. Now, I want to believe, because in the final email it says that there were a multitude of reasons that went along with this. And one being that she was choosing to spend more time with her family. And I can't imagine, as a small business owner, especially as a mom of younger kids, how difficult that really is. So I'm sure that it wasn't an easy decision for her.
Right.
But it really got me thinking, because we're so inclined to jump on our websites, Amazon Prime, what can I get right now? Are we doing a disservice to all of those fabulous little places? Now, that's a little bit different with a workout place, a boutique fitness center, which I'm also a part of,
right.
With Gingerz. It's a little bit different than your mom and pop shops, but I definitely thought that this was something that we should shed some light on, because I'm all about supporting the small business first.
Right.
If I can do it.
Right. Especially the local small business. So when I heard about that, about Yoga 4, I started thinking, I started running through my head all of these like restaurants and things. It seems like there's been a lot of closings lately. Yeah. And new places moving in and all that kind of thing. And I started thinking that the small business, the concept of that, was a little bit in trouble. Yeah. You mentioned the retail, the Amazons are killing small business retailers and that kind of thing. As we'll find out here, it's actually not. It's growing. But I'm kind of wondering with, like you called it, boutique exercise.
Yeah, boutique fitness.
Mm-hmm. I'm kind of wondering if part of the problem in some of these arenas is that there's just too much out there. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like the problem with millennials and kids today is that, nobody's really good or great at anything because they're spread out so thin. They're doing all these different, they're playing instruments, they're in sports, they're in this, they're in that, they're in, 10,000 things, which everybody's always said it's good for you to try to find your niche and what you're good at and what you like and all that. But there's no more, when I was a kid, I would go out into my driveway and throw a tennis ball against a garage and have it bounce back to work on my fielding for baseball. There's no more for hours, by the way. For 10 hours wouldn't be uncommon.
Right.
There's nothing like that anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't even see in our neighborhood, we've got every single house, it seems like, except mine now because it blew down, has a basketball thing.
Hoop.
Never see kids outside playing.
Right.
It's so rare.
Yeah.
That's all we did because that's all we had,
Right.
And I'm kind of wondering today if, like, there's so many different kind, yoga, Gingerz. I know Gingerz and yoga have been around for a long time.
Yeah.
But now there's Zumba, Rumba, blah, blah, blah,
Right.
all these multitude of things. And it's like, is it just too overwhelming? Do people try it for a while and then they like move on to the next thing? Kind of like the food supplement companies. People jump from those, although still tons of money being made on all of those.
Right.
I just kind of...
Well, you bring up several different ideas that I could really go both ways on a lot of them. Yes, to a certain extent, sure, you could look at it that there's too much opportunity, like there's too many things to choose from a fitness standpoint. But the flip side of that, and where I would argue with you, is you have to find what works for you.
Right.
I didn't even know what Gingerz was really until I walked in 3 years ago and then really fell in love with it. I never fell in love with my other gym like that, and I will they'll remain nameless. But I didn't find the passion there, right? So you do want options, but I'm with you that maybe it's better for some of us, and who knows, maybe Judy is not even listening to this, but
it's possible.
It's possible she is. And my idea would be, what if you partnered up with a few of these different boutique fitnesses and put them under one roof. So if Jazzercise wasn't for you, but kickboxing is, why don't we all share rent?
Right.
And we can still get the customer through the door.
That's a great idea.
You know, that's where I think maybe some small businesses, like, I'm not saying specifically Yoga 4, because like I said, I really think that she had other reasons of why she's closing it currently. But to house it under another umbrella. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Share the space and utilize it
yeah.
for different reasons.
You could share marketing costs, everything.
Completely, right?
Yeah.
But does it then get confusing for the customer? Who cares? I think it's better, right? Because if I had 4 different things to choose from in one building, and maybe I did some crazy like gold membership that I could take class from all, ideal, right?
Right.
But you know, some of these places I really have to wonder about, especially with restaurants, right? We've seen so many restaurants
Come and go.
come in and out of here. And I just wonder why. You know, unfortunately, we haven't been able to find any business owners that have flopped that are willing to come on and talk with us on air.
Right.
But I'm just so curious to know, back in the day when you took Business 101 in college, you know, they say if you didn't have 3 years of income that you can live off of, and not make a paycheck, then it's not the right time for you to start.
Right.
Right? Because you're not going to see a return for the first 3 years. So if
Right.
you see a return in the first year or two, you're doing awesome.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that it's going to continue either. Right?
Right.
So I'm just wondering, like that little wood-fired pizza place. It opened and closed quicker than
In
anybody
minutes.
even knew they were even open.
Couldn't even get in there so fast.
It's crazy to me.
Right.
Then you have a place like the Churro Hut, you know, it's called Chocolate and Churro,
Right.
that they can't make enough churros for us.
Right.
You know, it's like, what is it that some hit, some don't?
I mean, there's so many things that go into that. There's the uniqueness, I guess, of the product, but you can take a generic thing like pizza, you know, and again, I was trying to think back to like when I was growing up and what was different. When I was growing up, there were probably 3 or 4 pizza places you could order from in the area. You know, we have like 20
Oh, more.
that would deliver here.
Totally.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Well, I think you're absolutely right when it comes to that. Like pizza, you're opening in our area, you better be
there's got to be
so
something unique about
Now,
now
because I tried that place, and the first time I tried it, I said, nope, gross.
Wood fire?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, gross, not going back there, because I know that there's 300 others
Right.
that are better.
Right.
So,
Now, have you tried the mod pizza? Did you like it?
no?
Oh, I've been there twice, and I had salads. Salad's really good.
Okay.
I like the customizing your salad bit
Yeah.
without it being
$10,000?
no,
Oh.
well that, but the salad bar that
Yeah.
everyone's sneezing on and
Yeah.
stuff.
Like
I mean,
they're making it for you.
right.
All right.
You're hoping they're not sneezing.
But really, MOD pizza, and you like the salad.
Right. Yeah, I've never had the pizza, so I can't say one way or
nothing
the
to write
other.
home
But
about,
it's a little bit different. It's a different concept than
It is. Absolutely.
other places. So
Absolutely.
if you do like it,
Right.
you would probably have a tendency to go to it.
Right.
more
And if you have no idea what we're talking about, this place in particular, it's mod or is it MOD pizza? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not really sure.
Anyway, their whole shtick is that you get to pick exactly what you put on
It's
it.
one price.
It's one
for
price.
the pizza or the
Great.
salad and
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great idea. Didn't like the crust.
Yeah.
So I'm not going back.
right.
I just wasn't
Yeah.
impressed.
But let me ask you this: going back to the exercising,
Yeah.
and it actually is with pizza too. If there are fewer options,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, you know, a counterpoint to so many things and the whole market being saturated and stuff is that you personally had to work through several things to get to land where you landed,
Right.
Which is Jazzercise, which you love.
Yeah.
You also, though, were kind of on a mission when you started that you were going to exercise.
Correct.
So if there's only 4 different options,
Right.
you're going to go through all 4. You're probably going to fall in love with one of the 4.
You would hope so.
You would hope.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same with pizza,
Right.
know. If there's 4 pizza options,
Absolutely.
I can't imagine ever saying I really like Domino's pizza ever. Mm-hmm. But if it's just Domino's, Papa John's, and Pizza Hut,
Right.
they're in the conversation.
Well,
you know?
sure.
So-
Absolutely. And then you add in what you talked about here in our notes is like customer service.
Oh my gosh.
Which is, as we keep talking about on here, because it's the only place I can really bitch about it, customer service is in the toilet.
It's so bad.
It's absolutely in the
Have
toilet.
we talked about the social media part of customer service yet?
Hit me.
That
What do you mean?
that one incident from, a place that's going to remain a local place. That's a small business like we're talking about. It's going to
No,
remain anonymous.
We haven't talked about it with our listener.
Okay. I mean, so long story short on that one is a small business owner in the area engaged with people on social media. Now, we all know that a lot of people today, in today's world, use social media to help sort through all of these different things.
Right.
So some people go and look for a review on a restaurant before they go there.
Right.
Well, as we all know, the rule of whatever, if you get 100 reviews, 2 or 3 of them are going to be bad.
Right.
Maybe 5.
Right.
Whatever. Most of them are going to be, some of them are going to be like so good that's unbelievable, and you believe the ones in the middle. I mean, that's the way it always is.
Right.
But somebody got some not so positive ones and started engaging with the people who wrote those, which
Right.
you cannot do.
You just can't do that. That is the worst customer service. I was so disappointed when I saw that because this was a business that I really wanted to get behind. But I can't get behind if this is how you're going to treat your customer, even if they didn't like it. That should be your ammo to bring them back in and give them something, again, the
Right.
best way that you possibly can, and to just make it right.
Right.
Just make it right. We all have bad days, right? We all have bad days. In business, in personal life, it's how you're going to handle it really determines and shows people who you really are and your integrity. And man, it was lacking in that conversation.
I mean, and I want to clarify when I say you shouldn't engage.
Right.
Like you just said, you can engage by trying to do something to make it
Make
up,
it right.
Make it right for
Right,
the customer.
exactly.
But what you can't do is argue with the customer about their perception of how they
Right.
were served.
Even if it was an opinion.
Right.
Because even if I go to your pizza place and I write a review and I say, did not care for the pizza,
Right.
It was burnt and tasted gross and it was overpriced.
Right.
That's my opinion.
Right.
And this specific site is set up for people to write their
Exactly.
opinions. It's going to sting when you log on. You see
Right.
that the Duchess gave you a crappy review, but that's why it's there.
Right. And
Like
hopefully
you just
learn
said,
from it.
because it also helps even out.
Yeah.
Because if they're all glowing, you know that you're sitting at home going, is that just this person's family?
Right.
You know?
Is it my, yeah,
That everybody
right.
loves this
Exactly.
place. Come on.
It's not going to help you
Because
sort through anything.
Even my favorite places, I have had friends that are like, really? I didn't have that great of an experience there.
Yes.
I can see why you like it, but,
Right.
So,
or if conversely, if you have a not so great experience, like at a new place,
right.
and then you go on and look at reviews and they're all glowing about how great the food is and
Right.
all this and that. Maybe you just were there on their bad day,
Yeah, and
they were too new or whatever.
Like I said, that totally could be as well. We're not saying that every place is going to be spot on every single time. Even some of my favorite places, they've had some off days, but I think it's important for us to support our small business owners, and I think it's important, especially when you find something that you like, to spread the word like wildfire, because there's nothing worse than finding a place you love, whether it be a shop or a boutique or a restaurant, and seeing that they've closed or that they're closing.
Right.
So it's just as important because everybody loves to badmouth places, right? And about the crappy stuff that's happened to them at this place. It's as important, if not more, to spread the love of when you find a place. Like I'm always talking about Manny, even though, hey, Manny, you need to be a sponsor here for us on Two Gingers.
Well, and another one, just to even it out, we always talk about Ira's Bagels.
Always.
I mean...
Why? Because it's a great product, it's a great price, and excellent customer service.
Excellent customer service. You're right. Actually, they won an award recently.
They
in
did.
in the Hills for their service.
And the only thing that I'll say is that he doesn't have enough parking because that place should be jam packed every single day.
And they run out a lot of times.
They run out, which is fantastic. And that was the other thing. Remember, right when he first opened, and he kept running out of bagels, and people were on the social medias, and I would like to try it, but it's always closed. Well, it's closed because it's so good, it's already gone.
And that's, by the way, may or may not be a great strategy.
Right.
Create the demand.
I know.
You know?
I know. Which he's not. He literally is running out.
Yeah, right. You know, what do you think about technology and all that, and how that affects some of these things?
Well, in what manner are we talking about? Like, are we talking about online, like marketing, or are we?
I think like
what do you mean?
Infused into the small business. Like, for instance, I was recently at a dentist's office, and they used iPads for everything. Instead of, in some cases, a personal face-to-face conversation. And a lot of people are highly critical of that. They're like, every time I go to this place, I have to sit down and spend 20 minutes on the iPad. And if you think about dental patients, I mean, you've got little children up through seniors.
Yeah.
And we all know that a lot of seniors struggle with technology. They've never been on an iPad, but there's no printed forms there or anything that you could do instead of that.
Yeah, I think it would be a case-by-case basis for me. Something like that, which in my opinion falls under the healthcare umbrella, I am going to lean towards having a face-to-face, right? Maybe having an option of, would you like to fill this out electronically, or should I print off the forms for you? Mm-hmm. Give the option, because you're right. Some seniors or even some younger, it doesn't matter. Some people are just not going to want to do it on a computer or an iPad. But maybe in that scenario, giving it as an option.
At least for a while.
Right.
At least until the generation of seniors
paper goes away.
Today.
Right.
Yeah. Paper hasn't gone away yet.
But like our orthodontist office, they have this cool touch screen. When you get there, you click on your face and it checks you in. Great. Mm-hmm. That's brilliant in my opinion, right? It saves some time. If the behind the desk people are on calls and helping other people, you don't have to stand there for a long time just to say like, I'm here for my appointment.
Right.
So things like that, I think it's very helpful. It's not a small business. I do believe it's a chain, but the place that you and I both stumbled across, Which, the sandwich shop.
Yeah.
And they're the first ones to have a drive-through touch screen.
It's awesome.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
So I think you have to also survey your clientele. Are there going to be a lot of people who are going to Which who are not technical savvy? And is that going to hurt you? No, because you can walk in and order it that way.
Right.
So
Actually,
that's why I'm saying still giving.
I think you can hit a button on the board
you can
and speak
and say,
it too.
I just want to talk.
Right.
But still giving the option, like you said, until we're way past paper.
Right.
Like kids, our kids are not going to know as much forms as we will, right? But until those people are grandfathered out, you absolutely still have to give them an option. Yeah. Or you have to give them a person that's going to help them go through the entire thing on the iPad.
And not be frustrated. You can't have, whether it's an appointment or you're going in for a meal or whatever, you don't want to have your customer be frustrated before they start.
Right.
Because the odds of that being a great experience, which you're shooting for, it goes into the toilet right there.
See, I thought you were headed into a different direction as far as technology with marketing. Because remember back in our day, you used to get so much junk mail. Like everybody was advertising through the Daily Saver,
Right.
or, you would just get flyer after flyer after flyer. And now it's ad after ad after ad, whether you're on your inbox or you're on social media, there's like all of these things, right? I really want to like this one company. It's a small company near us, and they will rename nameless, but they send so much email, and they're constantly coming up in my social media that I'm getting super turned off.
Yeah.
So it's really hard. It's a very tight line that you have to walk, right? But I think you hit the nail on the head. It goes back to, because we have so many options today, that it's real easy to just be like, no, they're dead to me. Shoop, and you're going to go on to somebody else. And as a business owner, how do you learn to walk that tightrope? And I think it's what we said, like about Ira. It goes back to 3 things. It's got to be a great product at a great price with great service, and then you'll be sustainable. Mm-hmm. If one of those things are lacking, your days are counted.
How do you feel about this whole artificial intelligence movement, where people are studying your patterns of what you're doing when you're online, and then your ads are funneled to you based on your interests, your past purchases, things of that nature?
I love it and hate it.
Yeah. It's the same fine line, isn't it?
I love it and hate it. This is why I won't get Alexa or whatever the heck everybody has at their house, because I don't want to be talking about something with you, and then I look down at my phone and I have 72 ads about what we were just talking about. It's so frustrating to me that way. But once in a while, like around Christmas time, I'm like, oh, that would be a great idea for this person. Oh, that would be a great idea for this person. But it flips back then, because I just purchased a gift for someone's birthday, and it's supposed to be delivered, I'm crossing my fingers, on their birthday, right? The ads are flying through from this company to me. Every day, I'm getting at least 6 ads from them. I'm like, I already ordered from you.
Right.
Like, maybe pause that.
Right, yeah.
Send it to me in like another few months to say like, hey, did that person like it? Maybe you should send it to someone else. I already purchased from you. Like, slow your roll.
So maybe there needs to be some, well, and this is a slippery slope too, like some internet protocol in terms of like how often you can reach out to people or whatever. But the flip side to that is, do we really want anyone like the government running the internet? No, I mean, I think it is what it is, because nobody is really in charge of it, and anybody can go out there and post what they want, Right. If there were rules and stuff like that, I wonder, what would happen to the whole thing. I think the ship's already left. I don't think they can go back and make up rules now, but no, it's an interesting concept, right, to banter about. So, yeah, the other thing is, in terms of marketing and advertising, is the personalized stuff, and that kind of goes back to the artificial intelligence. It's not just Alexa and stuff like that. I mean, everything you do on Facebook, right, on Google, all of that, right, they're all doing it.
Well, see, and that's why I love people who you meet and they say, oh, I'm not on social media because it tracks everything you do. I'm like, do you have a smartphone?
Right.
Like, it's
everything.
Still doing it. Yeah. Do you use email?
Right.
It's still doing it.
We all had a chip inserted in our last doctor's appointment.
Seriously, come on.
That's what that form's all about.
Yes. That you can't understand, and they're like, just sign it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I have a video here about a guy named Pete.
Okay.
Who works in an office, and well, let's just roll the film and see what happens.
All right.
My new Clover takes care of transactions, balances my books, tracks inventory, does all the jobs I used to have to do myself. I should probably go let myself know.
Hey, Patrick.
Hey, Patrick.
Listen, I gotta let you go.
What? Why?
It's Clover. It can take care of all our transactions and receipts, and it keeps the books in real time. It even has an app that lets me see what's happening from home. Anyway, you're free, man. You're a free bird. Hit it. Have a good time. Yoo-hoo!
I'm a free bird?
Hey, Patrick, listen, not going to need your IT help anymore.
Really? What if the hard drive crashes?
It's no longer a problem. Clover is cloud-based.
What if the Wi-Fi goes down?
Clover can use Ethernet.
What if that's down too?
Clover can keep taking orders even when it's temporarily offline. It's awesome.
What if the cash register breaks? No one knows how to smash it in just the way I do.
Clover doesn't need to be smashed, so save your energy for smashing other things, like more as a hobby. Hey, can Clover untangle me? Hey, Patrick, listen, I've decided to let you go.
Seriously? Who's going to do inventory?
Well, that's the thing. Clover will. Can do almost everything. It's got this inventory app and track your things according to size, what moves, what doesn't, add new ones. It's pretty amazing.
So, you're saying you don't need me anymore?
Not even a little bit.
Bring it in. Bring it in. Oh, yeah.
All right. Okay. Good. Hey, Patrick. Listen, your marketing ideas, they've been terrific. But Clover has apps for loyalty discounting, even email marketing, so you're done. But hey, you can keep the bunny costume if you want. All right, we'll see you later. Have a good time.
Hey, what if I was a mouse? It's less threatening.
Introducing Clover, the point-of-sale solution that takes care of all the things you used to. Clover. Imagine what it can do for your business. Imagine what it can do for you.
I guess you're going to think the funniest part of that video was that I thought it was Peter, and it was actually Patrick. And we're back.
Oh, see, I always wanted to be a business owner, but it's things like this that really make me nervous. Like, you have to be so passionate about what you're going to do with your small business. And that's really the people that I think turn out to be the most successful with small businesses, is the people who are just so passionate about it, like nothing can bring them down because it's infectious.
Right.
You know, so I just met with the owner of a new business here to us locally. It's called Mo Fitness Meal Prep.
Right.
His name is Andres. He's so young and he's so full of life and just a fascinating human being to talk to. But he's so passionate about what he's doing. Like, you get excited just listening to him talk about meal prep, really?
Right.
But it's something that he was doing at home, and all of his friends were like, will you do it for me too? And it just, zoom, took off, right? That's what it's about. If you can find that kind of passion, whether it be jazzercise or, right, you know, a boutique of any kind, like the one that I love over in Crystal Lake called Out of the Box, which actually just changed. She just sold it, and it's a different boutique, same kind. But anyway, you know what I mean? Like, you have to be so passionate about it, I think, to make it really work. Because otherwise, how are you going to sustain up against these big names, big stores, online, etc.? Did you see that Barnes & Noble out in Crystal Lake?
It's turning into a Binny's.
It's turning into a Binny's.
Yeah. Actually, by the way, one that got the liquor license where they can actually serve alcohol in there as well.
Yeah.
So they're going to be doing like tons of events and tastings and stuff like that.
That's awesome.
So that part of it's cool, but it's kind of sad that
it is.
All the bookstores are going away.
I know.
But it's kind of inevitable, you know?
It is. It is. Because unfortunately, to that point, I really can't remember the last time I walked into a bookstore and bought a book, because Barnes & Noble, in my opinion, was so overpriced. I could get the same exact book, even hardcover, for less on Amazon.
Right.
Like, how do you compete with that?
Right.
You know, just because I'm walking into a store.
And you don't have to leave your house.
I don't have to leave my house. All right. I know. That was hard. But I'm really scared because I love Garfield's, which is a liquor store over in Crystal Lake, and they have a beautiful bar.
Okay.
It's gorgeous. And they do all these tastings and everything. I'm worried that now Binny's is going to be on the same road, just like a mile apart, 2 miles apart, if they're going to be able to sustain.
Well, hopefully they've built up their own,
Let's
they
hope.
started it and
Yeah.
maybe they've got a client list or whatever.
Yeah.
But earlier you said there were the 3 things that you have to have. One was
a good product.
great product.
Yep.
Right? It's got to be better than competing ones.
Yes.
Great service.
Yes.
And the third thing was
Price.
So I got a personal story with the Huntley Happenings.
Yes.
I do believe that we have a great product. We use, first of all, it's the only all-color thing, which is huge.
Huge.
And, we use more expensive paper than we need to. I've got great writers, including yourself, to provide content for people, so it's not just ads.
Right.
And then our advertisers are great. They offer really good specials and deals and stuff to try to lure people into their small business for the most part.
How about entice, not lure? Lure sounds
sexual.
I don't know. It just sounds wrong. Like
Creepy.
It sounds more creepy than
Okay.
entice or
All right.
invite.
Okay. Invite.
Go on.
But I had a customer service thing the other day. Where we actually put out our last magazine, and some of the, a lot of the companies around the area have put in these gambling machines.
Yes.
And so several of the places that advertise in the magazine are connected with this place called Tap Room that manages all of the magazines. And so they put a coupon in there. They're like $5 of free play if you spend $5 or whatever. So you bring the coupon in and you get like $5 worth to put back into the machines somehow. I haven't done it, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, somehow 2 of the coupons got mixed up. So it was like one company's ad with a coupon for another company that happened to be across the street.
Oh.
And then conversely, it happened the other way. Wasn't specifically my fault, but I didn't edit it well enough. The coupons are pretty tiny.
Yeah.
And I didn't see that part of it. I was actually looking for the expiration date, and I missed that. But that was like a big bad deal, because for a month now they had to make a decision like what to do if somebody comes in with this coupon. And by the way, they were for different amounts too. So it wasn't like you could just cut the one out and go to the one place.
Yeah.
One was for 5 and one was for 10. So I had to think on my feet. One was a brand new customer. One's been there for a while. And I basically called them immediately, told them it's already been printed. I can't afford to reprint the whole thing and resend it out.
Right.
So I called them and told them that I'd give them each, their next month will be for free. They wouldn't have to pay for their advertisement. And they were thrilled with that.
Awesome.
I was willing to go, probably shouldn't say this, but I
Nope,
was
don't say it. Don't say it.
willing
No,
to go
do
wherever I
something else.
needed to
Right, yeah.
to keep those customers,
Right.
because they are both really good customers. But
Right.
I mean, you got to do something somewhat dramatic.
Yeah.
I can't afford to give away free months of
Right.
advertising to people, but in this case, I needed to.
Right.
That's what I had to do.
Yeah.
So people do need to go really above and beyond,
Absolutely.
especially, in all service-based industries and stuff like that.
Yes. And I'm going to say we can just start it back on the personal level. Like, people are just more crabby nowadays, and people, their patience is out the window. I think it just starts on a day-to-day basis.
And it comes back to there's so many choices for everything.
For everything.
I was at a bank since we moved to Huntley 25 years ago.
Yeah.
I've been a customer for that long. I actually have accounts now at 2 other banks.
Yeah.
And the original one I was at did not have where you could deposit your check via your phone. And I'm like, that's ridiculous.
Right.
In this day and age, like, why don't you have that?
Right.
So I called and let them know, like,
Yeah.
I need to move my stuff to another bank. Don't want to.
Right.
But so weird. It seems like such a first world problem, you know, like, I don't want to go to the bank.
Right.
Ever.
Right.
If I never have to set foot in a bank, I'd be
Right.
fine.
Yeah.
Or even the drive-through at the bank.
Right.
Because you can do it on your phone.
Yeah.
You know? So actually they did. They've, not because I said anything,
Right.
but they have since now made that a part of their app or whatever.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's so many choices. So you can't afford to miss on any level.
Right.
And listen to your customers.
But that's the thing, right? You have to know your customers. You have to talk to them and find out what is it that you like, what is it that you don't like, and really be able to listen to what they're saying. And like you said originally, with all reviews, you listen to all of them, you kind of take what's in the middle.
Right.
You know, you're not going to just drop everything and give this service because this one guy said it.
Right.
But, you know, if he's the 1,000th one to mention it and it's really not going to be that difficult for you to change, you should probably do it.
Right.
You know, but I just think people are getting too crabby and and especially as a business owner, you're not allowed to be. You're just not allowed to be. Go home and bitch to your friends, bitch to your spouse. Don't bitch to your customers.
Yeah. The other thing that if you're a business owner that you need to focus on is, I don't know if the audience that you've had has ever been more diverse than it is now.
Yeah.
Because you've got seniors who are technology challenged
Yep.
in an era of technology is moving so fast, it's
Right.
hard to keep up with. And you've got millennials who they have no patience. They're everything you've described times 10.
Mm-hmm.
You think somebody's going to move away from something if they don't like, you know, one little small incident,
Right.
Like the bank thing,
Right.
If they don't have that, they're not signing
Right.
up there.
They're out.
It's
Yeah.
slam dunk.
Yeah.
Some of the rest of us are like, well, it's got to come at some point, you know, like I'll sign up and wait for
Right.
it.
Well,
but-
hold on a second.
yeah, so you got to know
Yeah.
who your audience is
Yeah.
and listen. That's the biggest thing. Ask questions. You know, people don't like surveys, but if you can do like a 1 or 2 question thing at the
Yeah.
end of something, you know, listen, ask the questions and listen to the answers.
Right.
And then build your plan around that. I think that's the key.
There you go. We just told you exactly how to run a perfect business, and you're welcome because we're #people helping people.
I think I have a future show idea
Okay.
for us to consider.
Great.
Kind of like, you know, in the genre of like Ellen and Oprah and all
Yeah.
those kind of things combined. I think we should have a show where we talk about our favorite local small businesses.
I think we should take it a step farther
Okay.
and do it at those
I
businesses.
love it.
So that we can talk to the owners.
I love it.
All right, cool. You heard it here first. That's all the time we have.
We
I'm
gotta
so
go.
glad we're back.
It's so great to be back.
And look for our poll because I need to know which you're preferring about the yin and the yang.
Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Stay classy.
Bye-bye.
Please follow us on social media. Our website is twogingers.com. That's Gingerz with a Z. On Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest at 2Gingers. And on Twitter at 2Gingers. At Sir William 1015 and at the Duchess 1015. The Two Gingers podcast is written, hosted, and produced by Sir William Guerin and the Duchess Kate Curtin. Head over to our website for more at twogingers.com. That's Gingerz with a Z. Also be sure to hit that subscribe button to get our weekly podcasts on Apple Podcasts.